On this video, we're going to be talking about 7 car loan mistakes people make when it comes to buying a car. I'm talking to you. So if you just came about my channel and you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button right now in the beginning of this video. Watch it through. If you don't hit the subscribe button now, watch it through to the end, hit the subscribe button at the end, or share this video. The reason you want to do this is because you'll be notified every time I drop a video or a short, you will be notified. Well, come on now, let's get into it. Number one of the biggest mistakes people make that I've seen of the 25 years that I've been in the automobile business is they get into the negative equity trap. I call it the negative equity trap because people don't think about when they owe too much on their car and they're looking to get out of it. Give you an example. Now, you owe $25,000 on your car, $25,000, right? And the dealership says, I'm only willing to give you $20,000. So you owe 25. Say it again, you owe 25,000. And the dealership says, I'm going to give you 20,000. You have $5,000 in negative equity that has to go somewhere. And that means if it goes onto your next vehicle, we call negative equity. We call it rollover. It's gonna go on top of your car, how much you owe on the car, and then it's gonna be absorbed into your payment. And if you're buying it, you're really gonna finance the negative equity. So what my suggestion when I talk about the negative equity trap is that you're thinking about leasing the car. If you can actually lease the car, but that's going to depend on credit. I always suggest if you owe more on your car is that you actually try to lease your vehicle if you can. So the $5,000 getting into a brand new vehicle, right? Because you're leasing it. I work at a GM store, but we also have a Ford store and we have a Buick GMC store. So it doesn't matter what brand that you buy. Negative equity, if it can be rolled on to the next car if the car is able to absorb that much negative equity. Now, why do you want to lease a car if you have negative equity? It's because at the end of your lease, if it's a 2 or 3 year lease, you have zero. You owe nothing else. You owe nothing to the finance company that you already, you roll the negative over at. You owe nothing because when you trade your car in and you want to get into a lease, that $5,000 goes into the next car. And what happens is the dealership sends a check to that particular finance company to pay that vehicle off because you're going to be paying that negative equity off in your lease payment. I call it negative equity trap because people don't really think about the negative equity, about the right way to roll it. And then also if you go to a new car, if you have GM discount, or if you're driving a Ford, that helps. Well, guess what? If you don't have a discount, it still helps for you. So maybe you have suppliers. Suppliers is friends. Anybody that's looking to get into a vehicle and they work for a automotive company, a manufacturer, then it's a friend's discount, which that's able to pass on to a friend. And sometimes it's passed on to not even a friend. It's just passed on to somebody that knows somebody that works for one of the manufacturers, right? And they're able to get a little bit of discount of that. And if you can't get the friend's discount, you can't get the discount or the employee discount because you're not a friend or a family member, then you need to ask the dealership for a discount. What kind of discount can you give me on that car, right? What kind of discount you get me? So that's number one. Now, negative equity trap 2 is that I really cautious people when they trade in a used car to get another used car and roll negative equity. So there's too many other ways, a lot of other ways that you have negative equity. Now, let me just say this is a big bonus when it comes to negative equity. You looking to get a new car, look for a car rebate, because sometimes you might have to put that money down to help with that negative equity. But if you got a discount, a manufacturer discount, or family or friends, or an incentive, we call it rebates. Rebates help too. You can use it as money down. So always find out, is there any incentives that you may qualify for? That's very important. That's number one. Just a little bit about number one. Number 2, skipping gap insurance. It's an issue that people don't think about until later. I don't need the gap insurance. I'll be fine. Well, gap insurance is if you're in a negative equity situation, you roll in negative equity into a car, whether it's a used car or a new car, and you total that vehicle, that car might not be worth what the value is. And so, say for instance, I talked about number 1, right? But the value when you total your car, right? They say, you know what? It's worth $18,000. It's worth $18,000. We say it's worth $20,000, but you owe $25,000. But the insurance company says that it's the value of $18,000. So you got $7,000 in negative, right? the check from your insurance company goes and they say, you know what, we got $18,000 we're going to pay on this car, or $19,000. So you got a little bit of negative equity left, right? But you have gap insurance. Gap insurance comes in, it's going to pay the difference. But you got to have car insurance. One of the biggest mistakes people make is that if you don't, they don't have regular car insurance, but they figure gap insurance is going to come in and take care of that when they don't even have regular car insurance. And then another way too, let me just say this, skipping gap insurance. Gap insurance is always offered at the dealership if you can be able to get gap insurance, right? It's offered at the dealership. But if you don't get gap insurance into your payment, then you can always ask your insurance company, how much is gap insurance? You know, how much is it? How much is what are you going to pay? Well, ask them about gap insurance. I don't want to explain what insurance company, how they work with the gap insurance, because that's going to be too long in this video. That might be a separate video. So gap insurance. Ask your insurance company about gap insurance. So if you go to a dealership and they don't give you gap insurance, or they don't talk to you about gap insurance, or they tell you I can't put it into your payment, then you need to talk to your insurance company about gap insurance. That's another way too that a lot of people don't know about it. Insurance company, they do offer gap insurance. Trying to think another reason why you would not get gap insurance on a car is that if you put 20% down more on that particular car. So you put 20% down on that particular car, no gap insurance. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't. You have equity in your car. You have equity in your car. It's called equity. When you put 20% down, you don't have to get gap insurance. Doesn't make sense. You're in a good equity position. Equity position means that you're going to be a good value in your car. Your car is worth more than what you owe. And also remember this, if you paying cash for your vehicle, you don't need gap insurance. Well, let's get on into number 3. Why getting pre-approved before you go into the dealership? Now this is important, guys. Let me tell you, this is important, especially if you have bad credit. This is important. Get pre-approved before you go in a dealership. You know, put an application online at the whatever dealership that you want to do business with. But the one thing what you want to find out if you have bad credit is that, this is very important, I hope you listen to me, find out whether that dealership, do they specialize with customers that have bad credit or have bruised credit. I like this. I've been saying bad, bruised, bad, same thing. Or if you're in a Chapter 7 and your banks get discharged, you know, that's issues too with bad credit, having some issues, right? Then if you're in a Chapter 13, you still got some issues. So if you're in a Chapter 7 or you're in Chapter 13, you call ahead and see, do you specialize with customers that have bruised credit or bad credit? Do you specialize with customers that filed a bankruptcy? Do you have lenders to help me out with that? And then the reason I say you get pre-approved before you go in, because it limits the time and the hours that you spend at the dealership. You want to know that you can get into that car before you Uber into the dealership and spend time at the dealership, and you don't even know whether you're approved. Now, if you call me, you put an application on my website, Regina, thequeenofcarloans.com. I'm going to tell my guy to put that at the bottom, Regina, thequeenofcarloans.com. At the bottom, you can apply for a loan with me. Not a loan, but a car loan with me. Doesn't matter what state you're in, right? You can apply, Regina, thequeenofcarloans.com. My inventory is on my website. I work at a Chevy store, but we have Chevy, Buick, GMC, which are new cars, and then we have over 400 cars in stock. You just have to look the inventory tab on the top hand of my website. And then in the middle, you look at apply, you put it in, it goes directly to my email. Right. So why getting approved beforehand is the must. That's number 3. So let's go ahead and get into number 4, ignoring the small print. Ask questions, right? Small print on a contract, ask questions. You know, what's the small print on this? Take some time, read it through. If you understand, you ask questions. Never, no dumb question gets a dumb answer. Or did I say that right? You know what I mean. Ask questions, ask about the small print. Take your time. I have people that come back to me right now and use my same things I do in my video. They're asking me, right? And I tell them, right? But the one thing let me just go back to number 3. One thing I don't do, if I get you a pre-approved before you come in, I'm not going to tell you everything on the phone. I'm going to tell you, come in and see me. Now, if you live out of state, I got to tell you what you do, because you got to know what you can get into before you get here. Now, the good thing about getting pre-approved and getting to what you want, and maybe that car is going to get delivered to you, is that guess what? It's e-sign. E-sign. E-sign is when you sign for your car in an email, and then it bounces back to us at the dealership, and then we deliver the car to you. But number 4, getting back to number 4, ignoring the small print. Don't ignore the small print. Okay. Number 5, focusing on the car, not the finance. It's 2 separate things. Focusing on the car that you want, or maybe the bank that says that you can get, and the financing. It's 2 separate parts. Financing, and you got the car. Sometimes what happens if you got bad credit, right? Well, we kind of got to tell us what your needs and what your wants are. You may say, you know what, I need a 4-door vehicle. I need good gas mileage. And I need a vehicle under 60,000 miles. And I need a vehicle that's between 2018 and 23 or 2024. So you have, these are things that maybe that you want. The criteria is what you want, right? That you want in that particular vehicle. So have your criteria of things that you want. Now realize if you have bad credit, some of those things might go out the window because you might not be able to get all the things that you want and need. But if you can get at least 2 out of 4 or 3 out of 4, or even in some cases people only get 1 out of 4. Depends on their credit. So the car, the financing, is it the term? Are you looking for a lower payment and maybe you need to take the term out longer? What are your needs? What do you want? And then of course, the financing. What's the financing option? It's hard to come in and negotiate the financing options when you haven't paid your bills, right? So, but know that you can ask those questions. But if you paid the cost to be the boss, you can do whatever you want to do, right? That's number 5. Focus on the car, not the financing. 2 separate arms. Number 6, not considering credit unions. Always, if you've been following me for a little while, credit unions are for the people, by the people. Credit unions are owned by people, members. The big banks like Chase, Bank of America, those banks are owned by shareholders. Credit unions, they're huge on first-time buyers. They're huge on people that have bad credit because they're looking at a situation. How did that person get into that situation? So the reason you want to go to credit union is 1, lower interest rate on a car loan or a home loan, and you got bad credit. Lower fees and having savings rates. That's huge. And don't forget again, I'm talking to you again. Say this again. Program first-time buyers and also people with bad credit. So first-time buyers with the credit union, they're going to specialize in. They're going to have something for you. And people with bad credit. So those 2 things, that's number 6. Not considering a credit union. Why? Check out your nearest credit union. Or I'm going to do a video soon talking about one of the best, maybe for the credit because I'm a member now. Number 7, not making a down payment. People kill me when they say, you know what, I don't want to put any money down. Or I'd rather not put any money down. If you got bad credit, you tell me you don't want to put money down, that's your choice because you make good money? No, that's not your choice. It's the bank's choice to tell you about down payment. So it's not an option sometimes to say, oh, I'm not putting any money down. Remember, if this putting money down, especially if you want to get a vehicle that you want, not the vehicle that we choose to put you in, a vehicle we picked out for you, is that you come up with more money. You have money. Down payment will tell everything when it comes to getting vehicles that you want. But I want to say this. Now, my next video that I'm going to do if you made it to the end is that now that you watched the video to avoid the biggest car loan mistakes, watch my video on 7 proven steps to pay off your car loan fast. And I did that video already. I did it already. So you need to go back on my channel and check it out. So again, now that you watched my video on the biggest car loan mistakes, go back and watch my video, 7 proven steps to pay off your car loan fast and how to get out of debt even quicker. Yeah, that's it. All right, I'll see you in the next video.